Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Christianna Schreifels is with us. Welcome.
Hi, Ron. It's good to be here again.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we're celebrating today. I looked at the list of celebrations. It is something that I am not familiar with. It's very thin. I guess I should get that guy in there. Yeah. National Canine Lymphoma Awareness Day. Can we go back to Nacho's Day from yesterday? I don't know about this. National Canine Lymphoma Awareness Day. I guess we'll just shut that one down for the day, and we'll look and see what the stock market is doing. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 43 points. We are looking at oil down 19 cents per barrel. We're also looking at the U.S. 10-year Treasury. Yeah, it's pretty flat, down almost not even 1 basis point. So it's 2.31. We watch that one. It is a leading indicator for what the mortgage-backed securities are going to do, what your 30-year fixed-rate loan is going to do. So we'll keep an eye on that one for you. We watch all the numbers for you. That's our job. It's not for you to understand all these different numbers. That's what we do. I share a bit of information each Friday with the real estate community. I give them a market update so they understand what's going on, what they're up to, what the markets are doing. And we always end the same way each week. I end with the concept that, you know, the important thing that you want to understand when you're dealing with a mortgage professional, with a lending professional, that they understand the market. Because if you think that you're going to understand the market, here's the issue. I don't profess to be able to do what you do. You do it full time, maybe 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. I don't. So I don't know what you do. I start studying the markets at about 4 o'clock every morning. Do you do that? Now, if you're not doing that, then the likelihood is you're at a disadvantage. Not that you need to have this advantage at all. The big issue is just remember, somebody needs to be doing it for you because the mortgage, your mortgage, is the largest liability you'll probably ever have. Your real estate, probably the largest asset you will ever have. Think about that. Now, I'm just going to guess here. I'm going to go out on a wild limb and say that in most instances, about probably 99% of the people that are listening to us this morning have more money tied up in their home than they have in the bank. Think about that. Maybe, and think about this part of your balance sheet, your household balance sheet. You might, in California, somewhere between $250,000 and $1 million is your real estate holding. Somewhere about $200,000 to $800,000 is going to be your liability on your mortgage. Now, do you have $200,000 to $800,000 in the bank? Do you have $250,000 to $1 million in the bank? Now, if you're old as I am, you probably remember the days of when you would balance your checkbook. You'd get out the checks, they'd send them back to you. You can start flipping through them one at a time, and you grab your statement and you flip through that one at a time or down the list and say, oh, I got this one, I got that one. You do that once a month. Now, in this day and age of the technological world, Are you doing that? I suggest probably not. But here's the issue. You may go online and see if anything looks a little odd to you. You may go online and look at your bank statement or your credit card statement, see if anything is odd looking to you there as well. Who's watching your biggest asset? Yeah, probably nobody. Who's watching your largest liability? Probably nobody. That's what we like to do. That's why we do this broadcast. That's why I do it every morning. Not because I like to get up at 4 in the morning. I could probably find something better to do. I might even go to the gym once in a while if I wasn't getting up at 4 in the morning to study the markets. But then I wouldn't be qualified to be talking to you each day and sharing what's going on. Now, you may not agree with what I have to say, but at least I'm going out there doing the research, and then I'm suggesting to you, go do your own research. Figure it out yourself. See if it makes sense. See if you agree with what I'm saying. Yesterday, I had a lot of people come and tell me, Ron, I'm not hearing all these great things about the tax plan that you shared. Fine. Go look at it yourself. I've shared with people that I have no problem overlaying your tax statement like I did with those 6 yesterday, and tell you that these are what's happening with 6 individuals whose tax returns I looked at and what the new tax plan would mean to them. Very, very simple. So you can do those things yourself. You just have to get a little understanding of how to do it. Just a thought for you. I'll get off the soapbox right now. Looking at the news of the day. You gotta love it. Back to the gun control issues. It's amazing how we continue to hear individuals wanting to talk about gun control. Unbelievable.
This is ridiculous.
Now, I don't have that. Just as I was walking into the studio this morning, I saw a news story coming online, and I think it was in Monrovia this morning. And I believe in Monrovia there was a liquor store that somebody attempted to rob. And ironically enough, the robbers got a little bit of a surprise. See, the liquor store owner knew how to use a gun, had a gun with him, and shot one of the robbers and scared the other one away. This is the whole issue with gun controls. I'm a big believer. Hey, you know something? The control needs to be where apparently the Air Force didn't note in Texas that this man should not have ever had a license to get a gun. Right? I mean, it's just crazy that somebody who can be dishonorably discharged from the military, beats up his wife, puts his child or ate the child, I don't know whose child it was, but puts a child in the hospital for a fractured skull, can still get a gun. Well, it all became possible because of data entry errors at the federal government level. So let's just write another law that says the government can't make data entry errors. Do you think that would make any sense at all?
You know better than that.
Doesn't work. You can't create laws to do these things. But now if we look in Monrovia, I think it was, it might have been, in that area, somewhere here in Southern California, a liquor store owner shoots 2 people who are trying to rob him. One's dead. Now, do you think that many people are going to go back and try and rob that liquor store anymore? Do you think that might be a bit of a deterrent there? Just a thought for you. We'll move right along and see what else we can find in the news that might make sense to chat with you about. But think about some of these different issues. Oh, I love this one. Back in the news again, James Comey tried to close the book on Hillary Clinton investigation. July 2016, he criticized her for being extremely careless in her handling of classified information. Now we're learning that an earlier draft of the speech used the phrase grossly negligent. I wonder who changed that one around. I wonder where that got adjusted. Just a question for you. Watching in the elections today in Virginia, Republican Ed Gillespie, Democrat Ralph Northam, fighting to be the next governor in that state. And did you see that apparently the Fox network decided that they were tired of hearing that lunatic Tom Steyer? They didn't want any more of his money on these commercials, that he's just trying to be divisive. Now, I was fascinated by Tom Steyer spending $10 million of his own dollars on a commercial geared at impeaching the president. Now, in my opinion, I thought it was stupid. I told you that when it first came out. But I thought if you're a conservative American, you're probably thankful for Tom Steyer, because you realize how little the Democrat Party has to say right now. If all they can do, now I have no problem with people disagreeing with the president in a respectful way, but here's the issue. Think about this. All he had to say was that the president should be impeached on a bunch of grounds that were meaningless and nonsensical, instead of saying, you know something, we think that we should do things this way. We think we have a better way of doing something. That would have carried a whole lot more weight with a lot of people than coming out and promoting the idea of impeachment, which is not going to happen, right? So it's just wasting our time showing another sore loser. Wah, wah, wah. Now, on the other side of that, would you want Tom Steyer managing your money? Just a thought. He's a hedge fund manager, billionaire up in Northern California. Is that who you really want to be managing your money? I suggest, probably in my book, I'd say absolutely not. If this is the way he manages his own money, do I want him to manage mine? Just a thought for you. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, multi-generational households may be the answer to price increases, credit card tips to follow this season. Who's affected by mortgage changes in the house tax bill? Nobody. And the financial services industry, what you need to know, all that and more. You can reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay's available, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the Mortgage Minute today, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. They are the only ones that I know of that has the fast pass loan approval. Get totally underwritten. Your loan is totally underwritten, so it's same as cash offer by going through the Gold Star fast pass loan approval. You're doing the work up front. That's the beauty of it. Let's look and see. We were just chatting about this off air, and ironically enough, it is part of today's lineup. Who is affected by the mortgage changes in the house tax bill? Who is affected? Well, it's going to be a very interesting scenario because our friends on the left don't want you to know about this. I'm going to tell you. 68.5%, as of the last numbers that came out, 68.5% of the homeowners do not take a mortgage interest deduction. 68.5%. Why would they not take a mortgage interest deduction? Well, it's because their standard deduction already exceeds the itemization, which includes mortgage interest. The standard deduction already exceeds that. Well, under the new House bill, they're looking at doubling the standard deduction. So they're going to go, if you're single, the standard deduction becomes $12,000. If you are married, the standard deduction becomes $24,000. Now, if 68.5% of the people were not taking it before with half as much of a standard deduction, do you think they're going to start taking it now? Of course not. So who's affected? Well, it's going to be the higher income earners who were itemizing, who owned a house. Again, this would only be mainly on the coasts, because think about this, you're going to be able to deduct up to $500,000 in mortgage interest on new purchases. Mortgage on the mortgage, interest on $500,000 worth. So think about that concept. It's going to be, now right now it's at $1 million. So if you have a mortgage of $1 million, if you have a mortgage of $1.5 million, you can only write off 2/3 of it. What will end up happening is if you have a mortgage of $1.5 million, you'll only be able to write off 1/3 of it. Again, that's only if you're itemizing. So that's who's going to be really affected. Most states, when you think about it, with a $254,000 median home price nationally, that's double the median home price on a national basis. So most people are not going to be affected by it. Again, on the coast we'll see some of it, but in most areas it's not going to have a whole lot of effect. Highest percentage among states with loans above $500,000 threshold, 35.1% is in Washington, D.C., 15% in Hawaii, California 11.5%, Delaware, Massachusetts, and Washington are all at about 9%. So it's not going to have a massive effect. Obviously here, Orange County, California, San Diego, California, Los Angeles, California, we'll probably see some of it. But again, $779,000 is the median home price in Orange County. Take off, say, 20% off of that if you have equity or if you're buying a new house. That's generally, $779,000 is generally not going to be your first-time home buyer. So if we take off about $150,000 on that, it's about $600,000 loan amount. So the majority of the interest deduction you're still going to get. Think about that concept. That is the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. So we are chatting this morning. Christianna Schreifels is with us. Welcome. Real estate extraordinaire. So obvious. Are you getting a lot of your clients calling and asking what's going on with this bill and how it'll affect them, or do they care?
Most don't care because they're not even aware that there's a tax reform bill. But some of them that are, savvy and they read the news, they're curious. But the way it's written is not someone, lay people don't read them very well. I don't read it very well, so
and that's the norm.
And I'm learning a lot. So because I want to be able to tell them, really it's not a negative thing.
That's the biggest issue is for that. Number one, we don't know anything, right? I mean, we've got a bill in the House of Representatives. It hasn't passed the House yet.
Right.
It hasn't passed the Senate yet. It hasn't got to the President yet. So we know that there's going to be a lot of changes. So it's just kind of the loons like me that are out there and that can bloviate about this. And then you get because we do have the National Association of Realtors has piped in with their opinion.
Right.
Right. Before the bill came out, Nancy Pelosi didn't like it. So, she hadn't read it and didn't like it. So that's just a norm. That's just my opinion. What the heck? So those are just some of the different issues. But let's get to what people are really talking about. Mm-hmm. Holiday time.
Oh, holiday time. Right.
Anybody thinking about real estate during the holidays?
Serious buyers are. But very few know that the market is a good time to purchase because it slows down just a tad. So, and I always encourage my buyers, it's a good time to buy. It's always a good time to buy, especially during the holidays because of a little bit of a lull, as you know.
Sure.
So what's your opinion on that?
I like the idea. I mean, I'm the same thing. I mean, the only ones that are out there shopping right now are people that have a need to buy something or move.
True.
And the only one that's out there selling is those who have a need to sell.
Yeah.
Right? So you get the serious people, you got less congestion and less noise.
It's really nice. I love the holidays. I sell during the holidays. I like it. I like the people. They're more pleasant. There's not the rush or the competition. Yeah, it's a lot better.
Do you find that will people decorate their houses if they've got their house up for sale?
I haven't. There's two different types of sellers. Yes, the people that will just do it because they want to showcase their home. But generally speaking, I ask them to just have it not congested in their home, not a whole lot of decorations, because you want to see the home for what it is and not all the extra stuff. So I think that sellers that are serious, no, they don't. It's a better way to see a house.
They're getting some counsel. Don't put a 20-foot Christmas tree in a 10-foot room and make it look like it's a small room.
Not only that, more like all the little stuff that's on the counters.
Okay, so declutter.
Declutters is the key, yes.
Okay, so on the flip side, buyers. When's a buyer ready to purchase? How do we know that part of it?
Okay, when a buyer's ready to purchase is when they have all of their ducks in a row. Mainly, they've already spoken to a lender, and they have a pre-approval. Their taxes are all done. They don't owe taxes. Their credit score is decent. If they come and they ask me, hey, I want to buy a house, but their credit score is messy and they don't really have anything put away in the bank for the escrow fees. There's a lot of people that think, oh, there's free money out there, and there is, but not to the level where you want to have a buyer who's realistic about what sellers will do for them, and you also want to have somebody that has a pre-approval letter, because I'm not going to take you shopping unless you do, because offers can't get turned in that way. So,
and there's a lot of folks that don't realize that. They go out and they start looking at open houses,
yes,
and then say, there's the house, I want to make an offer.
Exactly, and those are the people that don't get offers accepted, and real estate agents who are serious don't really work with them. I say, this is what you need to do. Call me back in about 6 months. I will call them back and follow up and say, did you do these certain things? And
so that's kind of your prerequisite to know that they're legitimately serious, and
yes,
and they're not wanting you to be a tour guide. They want you to be a professional.
Yes, and I don't even show homes to people who don't have a pre-approval and their taxes are not done, and I don't. Yeah, there's no time to waste right now. It's a very competitive market. So
if you don't have all of your ducks in a row, then someone else is going to probably get the property anyway.
Yes, and I've seen that.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, well, that person wasn't ready, and my client gets the house and they don't. Oh well.
Well, and that's the big difference between dealing with a professional.
Yes.
Right, and somebody that's just kind of playing at real estate.
Right. Well, there's a lot of new realtors too that don't know the game, and sadly, you have to go through the ropes and find out that you don't show houses before someone's ready.
That makes a lot of sense, right?
Yes.
I mean,
they're wasting their time.
Yeah. So you come across, so you're asking them to see what their credit scores look like as on the real estate side?
Yes, I actually ask for the FICOs up front, and
Okay.
I say, please send me your approval letter or your pre-approval letter. I actually ask for the lender's name and number to get a verification, and then once I verify that, I have all that in my hand, I am more than ready to show them homes.
Makes a lot of sense. So, and right now it's easy for anyone to know what their FICO score is. We've been telling everybody since the breach, and I'm going to say it again because I say it every day, EquifaxSecurity2017.com, EquifaxSecurity2017.com. Go there and get your free credit report and have them monitor your credit for you for a full year for free. They used to charge $30 a month for that.
Right. I used to pay that.
Right? And now it's free because you can because of them giving away your information. Just a thought for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, multi-generational households may be the answer to price increases. Some credit card tips to follow this holiday season, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1. Over 7 million people have visited that page, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, to watch older broadcasts. Join the community. You can reach out to me and stay tuned anytime. Stay tuned to Ron Siegel Radio. We'll be back in just a few. My engineers will love that one.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area-trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Multi-generational homes are coming back in a big way. In the 1950s, about 21%, or 32.2 million Americans, shared a roof with their grown children or parents. According to an article by Realtor.com, nearly 1 in 5 Americans is now living in a multi-generational household. Household with 2 or more adult generations or grandparents living with grandchildren, a level that hasn't been seen in the U.S. since 1950. Another report that proves this point is the National Association of Realtors 2017 Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers, which states that 13% of home buyers purchased multi-generational homes last year. The top 3 reasons for purchasing this type of home were, number 1, take care of aging parents, 22%, up from 19% last year. Number 2 is cost savings, 17%. Children over the age of 18 moving back home, 16%, up from 14% last year. Valerie Sheets, spokesperson for Lennar, points out that, quote, everyone is looking for the perfect home for any number of family situations, such as families who opt to take care of aging parents or grandparents at home, millennials looking to live with their parents while they attend school, or save for a down payment, unquote. For a long time, nuclear families, a couple and their dependent children, became the accepted norm, but John Graham, co-author of Together Again, a creative guide to successful multi-generational living, says, we're getting back to the way human beings have always lived in extended families. This shift can be attributed to several social changes over the decades. Growing racial and ethnic diversity in the U.S. population helps explain some of the rise in multi-generational living. Data suggests that multi-generational living is more prevalent among Asian, 28%, Hispanic, 25%, and African American, 25% families, while U.S. whites have fewer multi-generational homes, 15%. Additionally, women are a bit more likely to live in multi-generational conditions than are their male counterparts, 12% versus 10% respectively. And last but not least, basic economics. Valerie Sheets brings to light the fact that home prices have been skyrocketing in recent years. She says that as home prices increase, more families tend to opt for living together. Bottom line, multi-generational households are making a comeback. While it is a shift from the more common nuclear home, these households might be the answer that many families are looking for as home prices continue to rise in response to a lack of housing inventory. I'm going to suggest that in addition to this report, they missed, in my opinion, and being that I talk all the time, I'll just give you my opinion. My opinion is that why are we doing this? Well, it's very simple. Who's helping? Who does the best job of raising our kids? It's our family. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle. It takes a village, right? And if everybody's out working, who's watching the kids? Nobody. They're getting in trouble. And it's our fault. It's because we're not there to take care of them. Think about that. And I think that's the reason that we're looking at more and more at multi-generational households. Think about this. If mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are all living in the same house, somebody's watching Johnny. I'm just suggesting that Johnny's not going to get in as much trouble. But that's just me. That's the real-time real estate segment. Again, go to text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Put in the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and price, area you want. We'll send you a text message every time a property goes up for sale in those areas. Continuing our conversation this morning, real estate professional Christianna Schreifels is with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to continue on. I don't even know where we left off. We were talking about getting ready to buy a house.
Getting ready to buy a house.
So what's the next step? We've got the pre-approval letter, and we'll talk in a minute about the fast pass loan approval, so we don't even have to deal with pre-approvals anymore. But what's the next step after that? What is the consultation process that you're going to take somebody through? Once they've got they've given you their pre-approval or their fast pass letter, then where do you go from there with them?
Well, basically, I need to know exactly what they're looking for, and so
do they know?
Generally, no, they don't know.
Okay.
Especially new first-time home buyers. But I'll help them out by, saying, okay, well, how many kids do you have? Where do you want to live? How far do you want to drive? A lot of people need to drive from a far distance so they can afford their first-time home. So it's very simple. It's just logistics. Some people.
Now, what area what geographic area do you focus on?
I've been working from Burbank all the way to Glendora.
Okay.
And I have done some out in Palm Desert, but I try not to.
I like Palm Desert. You don't like Palm Desert?
I do. It's just a long drive.
That is a long drive, absolutely. Yeah, we have a lot of friends out in Palm. In fact, there might even be some folks watching or listening to us right now from Palm Desert.
Oh, well.
But you're right, it is a long drive. So.
But I love my buyers, so I don't mind driving.
Go where they want to go.
When you're in Southern California, you drive. That's just
exactly,
the way it is. Right.
Exactly. So what are the biggest factors that you see driving the Southern California market right now?
Oh, the two factors that I see driving the Southern California market are basically that the inventory is low.
Okay.
There's so much competition out there. People are, sellers are getting, anywhere from 8 to 14 offers in the first 2 weeks if the house is priced right.
Wow, okay.
And then the interest rates are low. And so that's very inviting to Southern California people, across the whole United States. However, for Southern California, knowing we pay higher prices for housing, it's just so attractive. So with those two factors in mind, they have to be very strategic. They have to be very strong buyers. They can't be wishy-washy. They have to know exactly what they want, and I help them in that department. Instead of showing them all the houses they want to see, I'll narrow it down to what I believe would be their ideal houses. And so after that, they'll go, yes, let's go see these ones. These ones we don't want, and so then we don't waste a lot of time. We make sure our offer goes in as soon as a house gets listed is the best time. And if it's priced well, it's going to go.
How long are you seeing properties, especially you're dealing with from first-time buyers, how long are you seeing those properties staying on the market?
Honestly, if they're priced right, they're going to be in escrow within 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days?
Yes, I have seen that.
So you really have to be in the right mindset.
Yes.
To say, okay, I'm going to make a decision. It's not like I'm going to sleep on this for the next 2 weeks.
You sleep, you're going to lose. In this market, I've actually had a buyer lose out on a house in the summer, at the late summer, and it was literally 2 weeks later the price went up 20 grand.
Really?
Yes.
So are you seeing where the properties are selling at more than market price?
Generally speaking, they're priced right at market value for the sellers that are smart and they have a great realtor that can do that for them. However, I am seeing that once that happens and the price is right, you don't have time to sneeze, but they're getting higher offers because they're competing. It's a bidding market.
So the buyers are competing and yes, it's like an auction.
Which is driving up the final sale of the house is actually a little bit greater than the actual market. That was the market value that was
than the listing price.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So, and we promote that concept a lot on the broadcast, right? To price your property aggressively,
right,
and let the buyers negotiate against each other, and you just stand on the sideline letting the cash register ring.
Right, and if you price it right, you're going to create a bidding war, and that's what you want to do for your seller.
Sure.
Yeah, I love doing that.
Explain that idea of the bidding war for me.
Okay. The bidding war is basically when you price a house at the actual market value, you want to make sure that your seller understands that if they want their price, and most sellers have an idea of what their house is worth, and it's usually way more than actually what the house is worth. So when they listen to you, which is the key,
sure,
you actually have a, let's just say, okay, the house is worth between $542 to $563. Let's do $542 at the low end, but your house is going to sell. Well, that's going to bring buyers because they're like, hey, that's a perfect priced house, that's a deal, and then you get 20 buyers bringing in solid offers, and you're going to drive that price up because people are going to say, well, okay, let's do 560. I just want that house. I want that house. And so they're going to offer more than what the selling price is on the listing price because they know that they're going to get that house. And if they're a strong buyer, they don't have a reason to not get that house. And so then the bidding war starts where you have multiple offers that are higher than the actual listing price.
What determines a strong buyer?
Strong buyer is somebody who has a decent FICO score. I've seen, for me, 680 to 775. Those are my buyers right now.
Okay.
An excellent. I don't want a pre-approval letter. I want an approval letter. I need proof of funds. And I also have where they have a lot of money in for escrow. They're aware of the cost of escrow and they have that in the bank. It's not something that's ethereal to them. It's actually within their grasp. That's a strong buyer.
Okay. And is the seller going to look at those things?
No, the realtor's I'm going to look at those things.
Okay.
I'm going to determine if they're a strong buyer for my seller. Generally, if you have a really great realtor, you're going to find that the seller is going to have all the offers presented. That's the law. They have to see all the offers, even the bad ones.
Okay.
However, you're going to say this is a strong buyer. They will not, they won't go into they won't go into default in a month or two. You want to protect your sellers as well.
So you've got a
mostly.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got the whole stack of offers, but you might say, okay, well, the top 5 I've already looked at.
Yes.
And the next 10, here they are, so you know about them.
Right.
But for one reason or another, I would not recommend them.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have to give them your personal opinion, and they come in. I present offers as when they come in, so they obviously have a hierarchy. However, not all of them in the first 5 or 10 are going to be the strongest ones. But I will say these are the strongest ones. But these are the order they came in, and they ultimately decide. The seller ultimately decides. You only guide them.
Makes sense. Great information. We're going to continue our conversation with Christianna Schreifels when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. What's happening in the market? We're going to see if we can get some forecasts, and our price is going to keep going up. We'll get some more information. Incentives for buyers? We'll think about that one also. We're going to also talk about some credit card tips to follow this holiday season, all that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the Your Credit Matters segment today, being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report? It's wrong. They all are wrong. That's why I know yours is no different than everybody else's. Been looking at credit reports for several decades. I'm not going to even tell you how many. And I've seen the highest credit score I've ever seen, 834. 850 is a perfect. But an 834 credit score, and I saw errors on that report. So don't let me think that yours is any different. Some credit card tips to follow this holiday season. Consolidate debt. Still a chance the Fed might hike interest rates one last time before we ring in the new year. Probably will happen. If this happens, your credit card debt will get more expensive too. One way to stop getting socked with increased finance charges on your existing balance is to shift them to a balance transfer card. Think about this. If the card offers 0% interest rate or an APR for a promotional period, generally 12 to 21 months, keep making a large payment as if you were paying interest, but pay it off. Get rid of it. Choose the right balance transfer card. Consider these two things: the length of time you need to pay off the debt and the balance transfer fee you're going to be required to pay up front. Some cards charge 3 to 5% of the balance you're transferring. Others charge no fee at all, depending upon how large the balance you need to transfer is. Save money, not calories. Thanksgiving's a meal not meant for holding back. Use that to your advantage at the supermarket. Apply for a credit card that pays big rewards on grocery store purchases and save on everything you buy for the big meal and beyond. For example, the no-fee Blue Cash Everyday Card from American Express pays 3% back at U.S. supermarkets up to $6,000 a year.
Wow.
That's a big dinner, $6,000. Holy cow. If you're more the type to gather around the restaurant table using a credit card like Capital One Savor Rewards credit card, the PNC Cash Rewards Visa card, or the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, pay you an unlimited 3% back on all dining purchases. I'm going to have to go check that one out. I have to use it over here across the street, Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Warm up your wallet. For most of the country, November is when temperatures start to drop, maybe not much in Southern California. If you're looking to update your cold weather essentials, the Chase Freedom Card pays 5% cash back through December 31st on up to $1,500 in eligible purchases made at Walmart and several major department store chains. It's got a couple of ideas there for you. There's some travel cards out there. Costco Anywhere Visa card pays 4% back on gas. A lot of different options, so make sure you're doing your due diligence. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, again brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Your credit report's wrong. They all are. Go on there. Credit Sanitizer has some solutions, some opportunities just for you. Continuing our conversation, Christianna Schreifels is with us. We're chatting real estate today. So we had a couple of conversations. I know we missed one item that you wanted to throw in there, Christianna, on the strong buyer. Contingencies?
Right.
Talk about contingencies a little for us.
I forgot to mention something that's really key. As a buyer, you don't want to have a lot. You want to have no contingencies. Nowadays, in this market where it's seller driven, you do not want to offer any kind of offer that has the seller having to think or double think or give you any kind of extras or extra time. You want to have a clean offer, no contingencies, and that's the fast pass mortgage that you're talking about, where you can actually compete with the cash buyer that nobody wants to compete with out there. And so once you have that in your hand and you have a no contingency offer, you're good to go. That it's better than actually having cash, I think. So I'm just going to pass that on to you if you look at Ron for being a lender.
Yeah, the fast pass is a pretty simple process. It's basically doing all the work up front. And it's pretty much what you said.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you go out there, if somebody's handing you a fast pass approval, the FICO score is going to be in it, the proof of funds is going to be in it, the contingencies are all waived, so it makes it nice and simple. But let's talk about, as we're going through this process, what should a buyer be looking for in the agent that they want to help represent them?
You want an agent that's no frills. You want somebody who's truthful and upfront with you, who makes it streamlined. I call it streamlining for them, where I make it simple for them. I want them to know what they're getting into from the time that they start looking, after they have all their finances in order, and everything that they're going to expect during escrow. No surprises, and they should have a stress-free encounter for escrow. Your realtor should take all the hits and just have you sign papers, and behind the scenes she or he is negotiating for you everything perfectly, making sure that even your request for repairs is very simple. You don't want to ask for a whole lot of repairs. You want to say, these are the things I want done that are probably safety issues. Keep it simple. Stupid is my, the KISS principle always works.
Sure.
Not only in science, but also in business. So
I like that idea, no surprises.
No surprises. There shouldn't be, no buyer should come to you and say, I didn't know this. Then that means you're not doing your due diligence for them.
I like that idea, because there's so many people that, we just did a story recently that only 35% of the buyers knew that there was going to be fees above the down payment.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Right?
Yeah, that realtor's not doing their job.
That means there's a lot of real estate professionals out there that aren't being very professional.
I think they just look for the check and they don't care about education. I believe that education up front and sitting down with your buyers is the most important, because then you really know if it's even going to work with personalities. I've never had a buyer tell me, I'm going to leave you, knock on wood, that's the truth, for 13 years, but you just have to be upfront with them and be realistic, hold their hand. A lot of them are a little bit scared, but once you give them everything up front of what they're to expect, it's pretty smooth.
You brought up a comment there that I think a lot of people avoid and don't want to admit, that it's buying a piece of property is scary.
Yeah.
People don't do it, right? I mean, you've been doing this 13 years, so you understand it, you've done it, you've walked the road with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of people, they haven't walked that path.
They haven't. They're scared. You want to know something? Ask. I believe that you should ask as many questions as you want. There's no such thing as a stupid question also as a first-time home buyer. It is
Or
scary.
even a repeat buyer.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
a repeat.
Right?
That's true, because the market has changed since they bought their last home.
Yeah, I mean, so unless you're out there doing it every single day, I'm a big believer the only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
I agree.
Right? I mean, the real estate professional, the lender, the title company, the escrow company, they all get paid to be educators.
And that's what they should be doing. I believe that me, as a realtor, a professional of 13 years, if I am not educating my buyers and sellers at all times, even with new products or new trends in the market, well, I shouldn't be hired.
So where's the market going?
Well, the market's going to go up. It's already gone up. Since July to October, it's gone up, they say 2%. And then for 2018, it is going to grow. It's not going to grow as fast as it did in 2017. It will be a little bit slower, and they're saying, the forecast says it's because construction is not meeting the demands of the population, only because of the red tape that the builders have to go through in California, and also the income.
Really, there's red tape in California. That's a surprise.
Why do we work here, Ron? And the other thing I heard...
Suppose it's 100 degrees in October.
I know. You don't want to... Yeah. But
right?
It's okay. We like sunny California, right?
Exactly.
That's the way it goes. That's why people come here. And the other thing I heard is that basically the income increase is not matching the increase of the home prices. So
we're getting a lot of...
slow down a little bit in 2000. It'll still go up 6%. That's what they said.
6% is a big number.
It is, but it's not as big as it...
It's not as big as it was. Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know something? I'm in the camp that 6% might be healthier than going up 9%.
I agree.
Because anything that goes up 9% can come down 9%.
That's true. I believe a slower increase in the market creates more stability, but that's what they say.
Sure.
You know, so we're okay right now, guys.
Right.
It's a good time to buy right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's not a whole lot of people out there. There's only this. We talked about this earlier. It's only the serious people.
Serious people, right.
Serious people are out there buying. Serious people are out there selling. The other people have something better to do with their time right now.
And their money, they're buying gifts instead of a house.
Right. Well, and you know something? I'm going to throw this one out there, Christianna, because I've used this before. An Apple computer. I've got several computers. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, several computers on my desk, right?
Right.
MacBook is going to be about $2,000.
Right.
A $400,000 home FHA loan with down payment assistance, $2,000 down payment. So you can buy a house or a MacBook. Which do you want to give your grandchild this year for Christmas?
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Which is going to last them longer. And if you want some great information and help on doing that, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Christianna Schreifels to help you buy your new house. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.